And a very warm welcome and a first for the channel as we react to the Indy 500 as Castroneves wins his fourth Indy 500 at the age of 46. Unbelievable. A fantastic race and only 3 retirements, which is quite unusual for Indy. A lot of spins in the pit lane, but yeah, we're going to do a reaction and yeah. I do like watching the IndyCar, but the times are not great living in the UK. And usually when IndyCar's on, it clashes with a lot of stuff. So first time we're doing an Indy 500 reaction. And my pick, right, before the start of the race, 2 hours before the race, I chose someone who I thought was going to win. And I went for Pato O'Ward. And he actually finished 4th, so I nearly got it right. Pato O'Ward I went for. A very clean start. Great start by Will Power, who had problems before the start of the race. He obviously qualified 32nd, and he made up 7 places. First pit stops happen on lap 32. Yeah, and then Dixon and Rossi both ran out of fuel. They had horrible stops, and that was basically their race over. Although Dixon did do a good comeback after leading at the start. Second stops, 100 laps. I mean, halfway. It was going at quite a quick pace. Usually we see a lot of yellow flags, and it was going quite a quick pace. First 100 laps, we only had 1 caution. And yeah, it was going pretty good. McLaughlin got a drive-through penalty, speeding in the pit lane. And then Graham Rahal came in for his pit stop. His rear tyre didn't get fitted on properly. He exited the pits and crashed into the wall, obviously because his tyre came off. So he was out the race, and then Connor Daly literally hit the tyre, and the aero screen did its job, really. He hit it doing 120 mile an hour. And yeah, that would have obviously hampered Daly, because he did have damage to his wing. And it just proves the aero screen was critical. Then, Will Power spins in the pit lane. Di Silvestro, the only woman in the race, spun in the pit lane. Hunter Ray speeding in the pit lane. And a 46-year-old wins the Indy 500. Castroneves climbs the fence and celebrates with a crowd. And the crowd, unbelievable. The biggest crowd we've seen since the pandemic. I think there was 130,000 in. Incredible to see that. I love Indy 500. The speed, the danger. I mean, they've got credit to all 33 drivers. Huge bravery at the highest level. Over 220 mile an hour. Wheel to wheel. Brave overtakes. Getting close to the wall. It's an excellent watch. Indy 500 race reaction. Castroneves wins his 4th Indy 500. I did one of these when Romain Grosjean did well. Obviously, Grosjean's not doing the ovals, so I react. Seeing we've got no Formula 1 on. I'm watching it anyway, so I might as well react. Race rating, I give it 8 out of 10. It was good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, so let's run down the order. First, Castroneves, 4th Indy 500 win. 46 years of age, incredible. Second, Palau, who led quite a lot of the Grand Prix. It was always between Castroneves and Palau for the win. Third, Simon Pagenaud, came from nowhere to get 3rd, impressive. 4th, Pato O'Ward, he was my pick to win the race. He was battling for the lead quite a lot, but yeah, seemed to fade at the end. 5th, Ed Carpenter, home favourite. Yeah, good performance. Ferrucci, out of nowhere, finishes 6th. And one of the drivers of the day, Sage Karam, he started on the back row of the grid, and he's finished 7th. Now that is impressive. 8th, VK, he was leading it. He really dropped off. 9th, Juan Pablo Montoya. That's impressive, given how old Montoya is. 10th, Kanan, another old dog. 11th, former F1 driver Ericsson. 12th, Newgarden. Yeah. 13th, Connor Daly. Will have been suffering with front nose cone damage. I mean, he hit the tyre square on. Lucky not to retire, really. 14th, last year's winner, Takuma Sato. 15th, Hildeband. 16th, Herter. Now, he was in the mix. What happened to him? Yeah. 17th, Scott Dixon. Now, he had an eventful Indy 500. Pole position, leading at the start. Ran out of fuel. Horror pit stop. Was a lap down. Then he got back on the lead lap and finished 17th. 18th, Harvey. 19th, Andretti. 20th, Hinchcliffe. 21st, McLaughlin. Speeding in the pit lane, ruined his race. 22, Hunter Ray. Another one who got a speeding drive-through for speeding. 23rd, Kellett. 24th, another former F1 driver, Chilton. Fittipaldi, 25th. 26th, Sebastian Bourdais. 27th, Felix Rosenquist. 28th, Ed Jones. 29th, Rossi, who had an awful pit stop. And, yeah, really was a bad Indy 500. And Will Power, 30th. Will Power only just made it to the show. And then he had a great start, but then came in the pits and spun. We saw quite a few spins in the pit lane. So DNFs, Wilson, who brought out the first yellow caution as he spun in the pit lane. Silvestro also spun in the pit lane. Great achievement by her to get into the race. And Ray Hall crashed out with a wheel not being fitted properly. So there we have it. Indy 500 race reaction. Really enjoyed the race. And yeah, bravery at the highest level. 220 mile an hour, ducking and diving. Fantastic. If I was an American, though, I'd be really annoyed watching it on NBC because the amount of adverts they have during the race. Luckily, I was watching it on Sky F1, so you got to watch the whole thing, but that shit was annoying. Like, really annoying. So there we have it. Helio Castroneves is a 4-time Indy 500 winner. I'm off to watch him celebrate and drink the famous milk. Wow, really enjoyed that. Comment down below, we'll always reply. And Castroneves wins the Indy 500. Adios.